Good friend of mine, C.L. Bryant. He is traveling the country. Once you hear him, you will be very inspired, and hopefully you will be fired up to, once you leave this building, you're going to take action. So everybody give it up for C.L. Bryant.
Thank you, Laura. And of course, we've had a good day here today. It's been a fantastic tour that we've had in these last couple of weeks, and we hope to continue all of that. The day is long and has been long, and we certainly don't want to keep you much longer. But we do want to leave you with words of action. The words that we pray will be those that you take to your various districts, to your various neighborhoods, and spread the word. It's absolutely amazing what you ladies are doing. God bless and keep you all. Frederick Douglass, on his deathbed, Frederick Douglass was a friend of Lincoln. These were his last 3 words to the Republican Party. He said, agitate, agitate, agitate. If there is something that we have not really learned to do because we're busy making our fortunes or making money, sending our kids to school, paying our mortgages, we're not good at activism. And Republicans, I'm telling you, conservatives, I'm telling you, it is time now, parents, I'm telling you, that your children's future is truly at stake. I'm not standing here waving my hands around in the air hysterically. This is not a drill.
That's right.
Right.
This is real.
Right.
Paul Harvey once said, do any of you remember who Paul Harvey is?
Oh, yeah.
End of the
Boy,
story.
you've
Rest of
been
the
a
story.
long time.
That's the rest of the
Rest of
story.
the story.
He said, if I were the devil,
Mm-hmm.
I'd make them hate each other
Mm-hmm.
for the color of their skin.
Yeah.
Because there is nothing that they could do about it.
Come on.
There's nothing that they could change about it.
Right.
So if I were the devil, I would make them hate each other because of the color of their skin. There's some devilish things that are going on right now. But my grandfather, many years ago, I was very Afrocentric, had a huge afro. My friends over here, the Crafts are associations in my hometown of Shreveport, Louisiana. I live in Florida now.
Yeah.
And I was playing some music really loud. I was going down the farm. Family farm has been in our family for 157 years,
Wow.
right after slavery, Louisiana. Grand Cane, Louisiana, down around Mansfield, down that way. I was playing very loudly on the radio a James Brown song, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud.
I remember that.
And Granddad heard me coming down the road, and my old jalopy that I had bought had an 8-track tape in it. 8-track tape deck. You remember 8-track tape decks?
I remember those.
Really, I see the young people looking at me like, what are you talking about? And it was just playing really loud. So I pulled up on the place. Granddad was a very hard-working man. He owned 5 pulpwood trucks. He employed several men, 25, 30 men during the summer and so forth. He didn't put up with a lot of foolishness. And I could always understand, I could always tell when he was angry because he walked towards you with a very deliberate way of doing it.
Yeah.
And he put his pulpwood cutting finger in my face, and he said these words. I'm 65 years old right now, and hey, by the way, if you're under 85 and you're over 45, good chance you'll live to 105 or 110 years old. Men in our age group, we're the prototype of the new American male at 65. But Grandpa was in his 70s then, and he put his finger in my face. And he said these words, I didn't go through all that I went through,
Come on.
Craig Kraft, so that you could be black. He said, I went through all that I went through so you could be free.
Come on.
Free as a bird. Places I have never been. Free to do things that I've never done. But above all, Sonny, I went through what I went through so you could speak your mind. You parents now are being robbed of the ability to speak your mind, and your children are being robbed of their birthright. And so, my friends, I want to say these words to you now. The definitions are changing. Now, what's important about that is this. When you change the definitions, you change the destination.
Yeah, correct.
Change the definition, change the destination. Give you some examples. Change the definition of gender.
Uh-huh.
You change the destination of the thinking on gender. Change the definition of family. You change then the makeup and the acceptable makeup of family. Change what patriotism means. Change the definition of borders in our country. Then you change the destination of where a country goes. Because every one of us are defined by what they, and who is they?
Yeah, right. Who's that?
Have defined you as. Now, I told you a little bit earlier that I was going to tell you what the problem was here in America, particularly with white males and white females. You know what the problem is? You're standing around allowing people to steal your birthright.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with the names on our founding documents.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with Hamilton. There's nothing wrong with Alexander. There's nothing wrong with Hancock. There's nothing wrong with those old white European names on those founding documents. Do you know why? Because it's a fact that they founded this nation. And even while my ancestors may have been enslaved, and some of you may have been the children of bond servants and serfs in this country, even when we did not have the full weight of our freedoms, this is what we did have. I don't know what face Jefferson may have had in mind when he penned these words. We are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I don't know what face he had in his mind, but friends, I will tell you this now. I can guarantee you that when he penned those words, he guaranteed that I would be standing here, the great-grandson of former slaves, in the land of live free or die.
Come on.
As a free American.
Come on.
With all the
Come on.
he guaranteed that day would come. And so, my friends, we can either be united,
Come on.
or we can conform. There's a big difference between unity
Yeah.
and conformity. They're trying to get you to conform. Now, what we can be united on is that we want our children to get the education that we want them to have. But we cannot be conformed by the government building and the people who run those government buildings, where public school children go every day. They go to school 8 hours a day in a government building, controlled by people who are educated by the government.
You're here.
And you mean to tell me that when the government sends your child home with criterion and paper, you don't look at it? And here we are, wondering, how did this get this way? That's how it got that way. White folks, you got to stand up.
Come on.
Amen.
Stand up.
You got to push back. I know as Americans they want us to go away and stand in a corner. I know that they want us to be quiet and not say anything.
I know that they do not want us to be heard, but we send this message from New Hampshire today that we will not go away quietly into the night. We are Americans, and we will stand and we will fight to defend this republic. My friends, you need to tell the story of old white men, because right now, you're being hoodwinked.
That's right.
You're being swindled.
Mm-hmm.
You're being bamboozled.
Yeah.
I never remembered you being treated the way you are now.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that you're that way? When we were in chains, and
Yeah.
when you were, some of you were serfs or bond servants, even in the slavery, even in the bondage, we saw what the fruits of liberty,
Yeah.
what freedom was doing for those who were fully free. And we wanted that.
Mm-hmm.
And people still want that. They still flock to these shores for the very thing that they saw
Come on.
in those Jeffersons,
Mm-hmm.
in the Hamiltons, in the Hancocks.
Mm-hmm.
They still want it because America is still the last best hope,
Come on.
Here,
the last great light
That's right.
of humanity. So, my friends, you must allow your lights to shine if, in fact, we are to save this republic. Now, listen. There's a reason why they want to keep you in a certain room that America has been known for. We all live in a three-roomed house. Every one of us. We have that room in our house of the future. We have that room in our house of the present. But the room we really like to spend time in the most is the room that they have our children in. They want to have our children trapped in from now until.
Mm-hmm.
The room they want you to be so upset about
Mm-hmm.
is that room of the past.
Come on.
Now, friends, let me tell you about that room of the past. When you walk into that room, you do see the pictures. You do see the furniture. You do feel the memories. But there's not one thing in that room of the past that you can manipulate. There's not one thing that you can change. There's not one picture on the wall that you can take down. There's not one memory. Why do they want our children to be trapped and burdened with the sins of their great-grandfathers? You see, when you have someone trapped in the past, they don't think about what they can do for their wife and children today.
Here, here.
They don't think about their own futures because they're wrapped in the pain that they didn't even experience.
Come on.
You see, my friends, I've ridden on the back of the bus.
Come on.
I've drank from colored and white water fountains.
Come on.
Me too, me too.
My ancestors, my mother and father were both civil rights activists. They brought Dr. King in 1959 to Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Went to the Little Union Baptist Church
Yes.
there on Milam Street.
Mm-hmm.
They brought him there. And the valor is being stolen from those who actually paid the price.
Yes.
Right, right. Good point.
From those who call themselves Black Lives Matter. Well, friends, let me tell you this. If Black Lives Matter is right, if Antifa is right, then Rosa Parks has to be wrong.
Come on.
Then Martin King has to be wrong.
Uh-huh.
Even Malcolm X has to be wrong. But they're wrong.
Yes.
And they are pushing off a false narrative
Yes. Yes.
on our young people. They don't even call the name of Rosa Parks anymore.
Yeah.
Because, and certainly they don't talk about Booker T. Washington.
Oh, my Lord.
They certainly don't talk
No.
about Frederick Douglass.
No.
Don't take a
They
statue
don't talk
down.
about them. Because they were all about this. If the Negro falls,
Mm-hmm.
Frederick Douglass once said, let him fall. He'll get up again.
Yeah.
Just like the Irish. Just like the Italians. Just like the Jews. If he falls, let him fall.
Mm-hmm.
Because the strength of this republic relies upon the fact of e pluribus unum.
Yes, yes.
Out of the many comes one. Any fool can take off the table, Kraft, what I put on the table.
Uh-huh.
But it takes the content of character, Lord,
Yes, yes.
in order to bring to that table yourself,
Come on.
to benefit the rest of our country, to benefit the rest of us. And so, my friends, the day has been long. Now you must ask yourselves, what are you going to do about it?
Come on.
We have talked to you about several things. But what are you going to do? Is this meeting only going to come to a meeting where we're just poking holes in the air? Time out for those kinds of meetings. It's time now for action. It's time now for us to understand what is at stake. And if we do have this at stake, then I want all of you who are old enough to remember Paul Harvey, all of you who are old enough to remember 8-track tape. You might remember this. There was an old movie called Cool Hand Luke.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
That was a
Oh, yeah.
star. But there's an immortal line
What we have here.
that Strother Martin
Communicate.
delivered in that movie, Cool Hand Luke. Luke was a rebellious individual. He wasn't going to sit still for just the man's rules. He was always rebelling against it. The punishment that he had to receive, he was willing to take it. But you know what? They're saying to you what Strother Martin said to Cool Hand Luke when he had him in a hole digging it out. He said these words, "What we have here is a failure to communicate." Friends, we need to turn those words around. You need to tell them these are our children.
Yeah, that's it.
It's my child.
My child.
That's it.
And you are not going to tell me, you're not going to come between me
And my child.
and my child. We used to be able to depend on the fact that what we taught our children at home, they learned it at school.
Come on.
Yeah, come on.
And what they learned at school, if you took them to church, they heard the same thing at church. But now what you teach them at home is being undermined in your schools.
Your
It's
hair.
being undermined. Even your religious organizations are being undermined. And pastors, I don't know if we have any other than you and I in here. But let me tell you something. You had better find a spine.
Yes.
And if you are attending a church where your pastor refuses to become politically involved,
Yeah.
you find another church.
Come on.
Your hair.
I'm gonna
You
let
do that. Because, how is it possible
Yeah.
Find another one.
that we have people sitting in our congregations having to hear the Caesars of this world and the Caesars wanting them to render unto him everything that is God's?
Yeah, come on.
My friends,
Come on.
this is a time of decision. Leave you with this. Adam, where are you?
Where are you?
Oh, uh-oh.
God, when he comes, the scripture says, to in the cool of the evening to the Garden of Eden. Something had happened to his crowning creation to cause God to ask the man that he had
The
created,
man.
Uh-oh.
Adam,
Where are you?
Uh-oh.
where are you? He wasn't talking about locale crap.
That's right.
No, it wasn't.
He was wondering what had happened to the man he had created.
Come on.
America, where are you?
Come on. That's
Come
good.
on, Sid.
If, in fact, our founding fathers were able to look back down through the annals of time and see us today, they would have to ask the question, America,
Where are you?
where are you?
Right. Your hair.
Where
That's right.
is the nation that we created? Where is it? You can answer that question here today.
Good question.
Dr. Franklin, What type of government have you given us?
Mm-hmm.
I've given you a republic.
If you can keep it.
If my fellow Americans, we can keep it from New Hampshire today, if we look down through the annals of time back to Dr. Franklin, let us send him these words. Dr. Franklin, the year is 2021, and we have kept the Republic.
Come on.
And my friends, the only way that we will continue to keep the Republic is if each and every one of you are able to answer this question. Are there any patriots left in New Hampshire?
Come on.
Is there anybody here who will stand up for God and country?
Come on.
Who will stand up for the Republic? Who will stand up for America? Then Americans, stand up.
Stand up.
Stand up. Stand up. God bless you. God bless you.